how you doing? You're watching Politrixx. I'm your host, Michael, and we also have Dean Plakas. How you doing, Dean?
All right, how are you?
And we have Soledad. So are we allowed to say your full name?
Sure, why not?
Go ahead, give it to him, give it to him.
Hey, how are you?
So, it's been a very interesting week because it's been a week of, I don't know, kind of like playground conversations. Like, do you have a Big Johnson or not? And who's a liar? Who's telling the truth? It's just been very interesting. Do you guys feel that Rubio and Cruz, they've been getting more play because of this behavior? But is this going to nip them in the bud in a way? It's going to stop them?
Well, I think it did for poor Rubio. He kind of got clobbered on Super Saturday, didn't he?
Oh, wow, that is true. That is
Yep.
true.
Yeah, Jeb Bush's backup didn't do too well for the establishment.
It's
yeah.
today. It's really sad. I just heard a little. It's kind of off topic, but Nancy Reagan died today, at the age of 94, and. I just can't help but think that Nancy and Ron would just be horrified to see what's going on. It seems like this election has just gone back, crazy.
Yeah, this might be just what gave her that heart failure.
Right. Absolutely. And I don't mean to laugh, but I think you're right.
I mean, it's, what's going on in the world today? I mean, have a little decorum. I mean, be a little professional about it.
Absolutely. I mean,
I was thinking about when I was watching the thing, and I was watching Rubio and Cruz gang up on Trump, and the Fox reporters gang up on, whether you like them or not, this was a little excessive. I mean, would they have done this to Trump if Trump was black?
Well, but you could kind of say he brought that on himself. I mean, this is a guy who's been very vulgar, doing things in very poor taste. I mean,
all of them, yeah, just all of them. It's just, what Cruz and Rubio were doing was in poor taste too. And I mean,
absolutely.
Cruz now is going to be attacking Rubio for Florida. I mean, it's just a sad joke. And then whatever's left over is just fodder for the Democrats to use against
them. That's something that Mitt Romney warned against too.
Romney. I mean, where was Romney's? Well, I want to say something, but you're president, so I'll be. What was Romney's guts against Obama? He didn't act like this against Obama. He didn't call him a fraud and all this other stuff when he should have. There was plenty. I mean, Clint Eastwood had to come up and say it. He didn't have the guts, but now he's got it. And
I think that shows you how scared they are, how freaked. I think now that it's a reality, oh my gosh, Trump is the guy who's winning. The establishment is freaking out. That's exactly what that's proof of.
It is, because they thought he was a joke in the beginning.
Yeah.
They thought he wasn't going to last this long.
Right.
It was just just something that was going to go by the way, and it turns out that it just goes to show the Democrats were right. The Republicans have no clue about
what's going on. And I'll say this for Romney. I got to say he gave a speech. Just looking at the speech itself, he did a great job of raising a lot of issues, but doing it very eloquently. No foul language, no vulgarity. Like a good Mormon. He was very polite and very eloquent and elegant about it. I mean, I got to give him that. He did a good slam in a classy way.
And you know what? If Trump spoke like that, there wouldn't be an issue.
You're right. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Absolutely.
If anything, Trump needs to look at that and say,
light bulb.
Yeah, there.
That's right. And tone it down in general, because what we saw this week, I mean, some of what we saw this week is, here we had, and actually you did bring up a good point that David Duke did not, in fact, endorsed Donald Trump, which is the way it was reported to the media. And in typical David Duke fashion, he says, I like Donald Trump, but I don't like the fact that his daughter is married to a Jew. Well, what else do you expect from the KKK? But like Donald Trump is, I think in a lot of ways, he's kind of shooting himself in the foot. Instead of just coming out and saying, no, I don't want support from the Ku Klux Klan, he said, well, I gotta look at this organization. I'm like, you're telling me you don't know who the Ku Klux Klan is? Like,
it was just he just spoke poorly, and it probably caught him off guard. What did they say? Who knows what?
I mean, I think the safe response there would have just been to distance yourself as, oh no, I want nothing to do with them, that kind of.
No, they would have been a safe, but that's what a seasoned politician would have done.
That's right.
He's not.
That's right.
He's the amateur, but who was it?
It's kind of funny you said that because the word politics comes from polite. That's the idea of politics, to be polite. It's about diplomacy. So when you just come out singing and saying anything, and it's rubbing people the wrong way, I think.
I don't know. For some people, it's what they want to hear. It's what they're feeling. They're feeling like the Washington D.C.'s been giving us the middle finger for 40 years. Now here's somebody giving it back. It's.
But I think in that regard, they gotta Trump's camp has to be careful, because now you saw the video that was on Saturday Night Live. I love their fake commercials, the one that said "racist for Trump." And I think, now that's how they're branding themselves with this. And then you saw the video of the young lady that got removed from the Trump rally. And, again, like you said, I don't know if he's even aware of what's going on, but he's out there saying, yeah, get her out of here, get her out of here. It looks to the onlooker like he's encouraging this type of behavior.
It could be edited. I don't know, because that happens a lot with the media. Again, SNL is satire. Again, Bill Clinton, he threw a Marine out. He told him to shut up when the Marine was complaining about Benghazi and Clinton's wife. So, Hillary, put your husband down.
Actually, that's my pooch. He's a Chihuahua, so he's Mexican. He gets a little bit sensitive when we're talking about Donald Trump. He just wants you to know he's neither a racist, a rapist, nor a drug dealer.
have we seen the last of Romney, as far as this election's concerned?
Nah.
He'll be back. I don't think he's going to run, which is what some people were saying. I don't see that happening.
But you never know. It's been a crazy circus this whole time. You don't know.
And Romney's got a whole lot of money.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have Trump money.
Actually, we don't even know how much money Trump has. Did you? There was a report that came out. Actually, I believe it was in the Washington Post, but we can do some research to find that out. That said Trump at most. No, actually, I'm sorry. It was in Bloomberg News. But a report came out yesterday in Bloomberg that said at most Trump may have $2.9 billion. So that's a lot less than he was reporting.
He's still a billionaire. During the debate, Megyn Kelly acted like she was a fact checker. She made that comment about his Better Business Bureau rating. And during a break, the Better Business Bureau actually faxed over a letter saying that Trump did have an A rating.
And you're talking about his credit?
Yeah, and he does have an A rating when Megyn Kelly's saying he wasn't. And he handed it to them. And Fox, when they came back from break, ignored it. I put it on the Politrixx page. You can see it.
Although, the Better Business Bureau doesn't rate credit, though. It rates you as a business. So for credit, it would have to be like Standard & Poor's or...
Well, I'm just saying, they did dispute what Kelly was pushing at.
Okay.
And Trump, it was an A. And Trump walked it over, gave it to the Fox reporters. They looked at it, they looked at him, gave a weak smile. They just, told you, walked away, and they did not bring it up when it came back. So, I usually support Fox, but, that was a Bush job by Fox. That was really...
well, and it tells you whose side they're on, because Rupert Murdoch is definitely an establishment guy.
Yeah. Mr. Jerry Hall right now.
Yeah. I can't imagine him being any more interesting than Mick Jagger. I don't know what Jerry was thinking, but...
Maybe he's got the moves like Jagger. I don't know.
Yeah.
right now, Rubio, he's doing really well. He's basically trying to be Trump in a way. He's trying to wisecrack.
Doing well.
He's trying to show his personality, but he's running out of things to do.
He's running out of things to say. He got a little bit of a spanking there on Saturday.
Yeah.
He's not winning.
I think now it's going to be whether Rubio or Cruz can sound more actually Hispanic to get Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's right. He got Puerto Rico. That's right. He got Puerto Rico.
That's because Cruz can't speak Spanish well. That's why.
Oh, man.
That was, yeah, there's a feather in the cap. Not there's anything wrong, but, you know, not a state.
It's not. Although it's there was a really interesting bit John Oliver did about all of our territories, and that there's question about whether they should be. I mean, these are all states that, their residents can serve in the military. So why? And not all of them have the right to vote either, which is pretty sad.
Well, maybe if they cross the Mexican border, they'll get the right to vote.
Only if they become a Mexican citizen, and then they'd be supporting the president that has now adamantly said he's not paying for any wall, which I found kind of amusing.
Mexico has that wall between Mexico and Guatemala.
I don't know of any wall there.
Yeah. Wall there.
No.
There is.
Cruz, do you really think Cruz is in a better position because he is starting to pick up a good amount of states that Rubio is not? Do you think he has a shot, or this is pretty much a one-way street to Trump?
Well, no, he actually, delegate-wise, he does, because he is catching up to Trump. They're, I believe that they're less than 100 apart now. Trump and Cruz. Now, I don't know if the establishment's going to support Cruz anymore because they don't really like him either.
Right.
It seems like the two darlings would be Rubio or Kasich, but Kasich is hurting badly.
Yeah, it's a nightmare for the Republicans. They don't like Cruz and they don't like
Trump. They don't like either one.
It's the same. Trump and Cruz can't get it together. If they could cut a deal, they'd be sealed, but I guess the egos are clashing and it's not happening. Cruz right now is doing his best to beat Rubio, to knock it down to a two-man race.
Right, but if people don't really it seems like they're settling for Cruz or settling for Rubio just because they're so upset with Trump, rather than they really like them. That's the vibe. Because in the beginning, a lot of people were very pro-Jeb. They were very pro-Carson in the very beginning.
Right.
I feel bad for you. He's a genuinely good man. I mean, his life story is incredible. He got a bum rap, but I don't think he's done with politics. I'm sure if a Republican wins in November, you'll see Dr. Carson as the Surgeon General. I'm pretty sure he'll be approached for that position, and I don't think he'd turn it down. I just got a feeling that that's the future for him.
So then, with all the undecideds, Kasich, can he rebound? They're talking as if he's a dead fish in the water.
Well, he only got Maine, right?
Yeah.
He didn't win the state, but he only got points for Maine.
Yeah, and it's kind of late in the game to I mean, unless, God forbid something bad happens to Trump and Cruz, like they die. I mean, he really doesn't have much of a shot. And Rubio, I mean, early voting's already started for Florida. March 15th is the Florida primary. The number that looks poor for him to win his own state. I don't know of any guy who was elected president and didn't win his own state.
And you just
chances. He does have 3 chances, and I'll give them to you: slim, fat, and none.
And it's, you just wonder what all this nasty infighting is going to do, because like you said, they are giving more fodder for the Democrats, but it's, I think it's really tainting them in a way that's just, they may be doing irreparable damage to each other if they haven't already.
And what people don't know is that they actually have a meeting before the convention.
Right.
We don't know. They go there and they start changing their rules.
Right. Right.
It could become big chaos. And
that's something else that people, the problem with our country is the way we vote, which isn't done anywhere else in the world. I really don't like the system we have. First of all, as I mentioned before on the Democrats, these super delegates. I'm like, super delegates, what does that mean? They can't be near Krypton? I mean, kryptonite? Or I don't understand what a super delegate is, But in actuality, like when you have the Electoral College even, the folks who vote in the Electoral College don't technically have to vote the way the state did, which to me it's again, is that democracy? If a state says, say Louisiana or Texas, whatever, says this is the person we want, shouldn't the folks at the Electoral College have to vote that same way? And the same is true with the delegates at the convention. Shouldn't they have to vote the way the state votes? But legally, they don't.
No, yeah.
That's
It's not really a pure democracy. We're a republic, so that's.
I think a lot of this should really be putting light bulbs in people's head that we need an overall reform altogether. We need campaign finance reform. We need to reform the way we do our elections because they're not democratic.
Right. Well, that goes to our second subject about Sanders. Does he have a shot? I mean, how can you say he has a shot when he won New Hampshire and they put delegates on a flip coin for Hillary? That's the way Democrats are voting for president?
And again, it goes to, how, I mean, if it were only up to the popular vote, I absolutely think Sanders does have a shot because just like with Trump and Cruz, they're really very close. Right. And you still have a whole bunch of other states that haven't even, haven't had their primaries yet. But yeah, if they're going to be doing...
Senior Bush won the popular vote, not Clinton.
Yeah.
And he lost to Clinton, even though he was more popular than Clinton.
Right.
Yeah, our voting system is not what people think it is.
It's was it the famous line from Wall Street? Now, son, you're not naive enough to think you're living in a democracy now, are you? Like, sadly, we're not.
That's a good quote.
I mean, New Hampshire, for the Democrats, New Hampshire and Iowa alone are proof of how messed up our system is. You should never be picking a candidate based on a coin toss, rock, paper, scissors,
Well, what's that on Big Bang Theory? The lizard beats Spock, and Spock.
Right. Here, let's draw straws. No, you have a revote. If it's really that close, you have a revote. That's how you settle it.
So, what do you think Sanders has to do to win?
You know what? That's a good question. Depends who, because I think he has the momentum with the popular vote. I think he really does. I think his big obstacle is the Democratic Party itself. Are they willing to support the candidate the people actually want and not say, okay, we're going to give Hillary superdelegate votes? That's just so wrong on so many levels.
Well, did you see that actress Susan Sarandon said that many people in Hollywood who want Bernie but won't step up and say it?
Yeah, I really have to commend Susan Sarandon because she's the only person, that took on Madeleine Albright, who's, condemning all women who won't support Hillary to hell, or Gloria Steinem. And, Gloria Steinem, for being perhaps one of the most famous feminists anywhere, made one of the most sexist and I'll just say stupid remarks ever. Oh yes, Gloria, all these young girls are supporting, young women are supporting Bernie Sanders because they're looking for men? I mean, really? Oh, he's where the boys are. I'm like, no.
Playboy Bunny, right?
Yeah. Who goes to a political rally looking for a date? I'm like, no, I don't know anybody who thinks that way. That was beyond insulting. But Susan Sarandon not only came out and said I support Bernie Sanders, but she said, look, the reason I do is because Hillary Clinton flip-flopped on the Iraq War, as she has on a number of issues like Monsanto and taking big money from Wall Street. So she's the only person who's had the guts to call her out on it.
Yeah.
And I guess Spike Lee.
Yeah. Well, she recently also said that, it's a shame that people take money from special interests, and then she is taking money from Planned Parenthood. I'm like...
And the banks, the Wall Street banks.
Yeah,
and it's interesting. I guess you asked, what can Bernie do to win? And I don't understand why, if you look at the states that Hillary won, and of course the media played it like, oh, well, Bernie got the white states. And I'm like, and Hillary got the black states. Because Bernie won Kansas and Nebraska. And I'm like, okay. And then he's saying, well, and Hillary got the black states. Now, why is that? Like, I don't understand that divide right there. Is it just because Morgan Freeman spoke out in favor of Hillary? Or, Bernie Sanders has been a civil rights worker all along, whereas, Hillary has had some flip-flopping issues there, too.
Yeah. And, and they're really... I don't want to say they're equal to the Kennedys, but the Clintons are really big in the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if it wasn't Hillary running, I'm sure Governor Cuomo would have jumped in.
Another big family, yeah.
Out of respect for Bill, though, I think he didn't jump in. But I'm sure